through. Are you saying we're coming through?
It's connecting, I think.
Because I want to have I just want to post it up when it comes up. So look at all of those YouTube, Facebook Chromes will be spied on more than ever before. But yeah, well, I think that we're live. I'm not sure. The computer is dying, so let's see if we are or not, and we'll go to the channel, and hopefully we'll see something there, and we'll be able to spread it to the people.
Oh, live stream. WAYPN.
Hello.
There it is.
Looks,
okay,
yay!
Yes.
Looks like we're live. All right.
Huzzah.
All right. I'm gonna put that up in the post, and I'm going to say
we are live, people.
we are live. F it, we ball. Alright, and now we just have to hope that Facebook will actually post something. So
it is struggling.
Oh yes,
the maximum.
Yes, it is struggling. Hey, look! It looks like something's working. All right. And of course, right on cue, I have to
go to the other place. There it is.
Okay, so I think
it's going. It's just taking a long time to load.
Yes, it does look that way. But we'll moderation helps. Okay, thank you. Without that friendly reminder, no one would have known. All right. So, all right. Honey, would you like to introduce Davith while I go outside and have a coughing fit because I feel it coming on?
Oh well, let's just do the intro and then I introduce.
All right, if you're sure. Okay. All right. 3, 2, 1. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome once again to WAYPN.
Weekly WAYPN.
Oh, yes, the Weekly WAYPN.
You're
I'm Cal.
And I'm Sunny.
Okay.
Henry and Sangeeta.
And we have with us
Davith.
Alright. So, Davith, tell us, who you are, what you do, or what you don't do.
Oh, yes. Okay. It's time for Henry to go outside and let his disgust out into the
blessing of noble.
Yes. Sorry, Davith. Please tell us about yourself.
Leave Sunny to interrogate me. Perfect. Okay, so hi folks. My name's David. I've been in the hobby now for near 30 years. Got into it back in the day with classic board games, Hero Quest and Space Crusade. Got the old advanced Hero Quest paint set out of a White Dwarf article, and that set me going. Since then, I mainly have been a GW acolyte, but I've moved across into other systems over the years. So, a bit of War Machine, a bit of Infinity. Got a whole bunch of third-party miniatures knocking around.
So we can safely say that you've been painting for 30 years?
Well, he's certainly been assembling for 30 years.
This is true.
Yes.
Oh, there we go.
Hey,
I
painted stuff last year. Yes, last year.
Oh, David.
That's 30 years.
All right. Well, how about we start off? I think we actually reviewed these ones last week, didn't we?
Okay, well then maybe we can move on to the next one.
Well, the next one is an unfortunate case.
But we have talked about this.
Yes, but somebody else hasn't talked about it.
Okay.
So it's your turn to be shamed.
Okay.
All right, Davith. We bring on guests to
shame ourselves.
Yes. So shame away. What do you think?
I mean, they're Christmas cards, which always has me a bit twitchy because I have a history in retail, so... Yeah.
Oh dear. Okay, tell us.
Well, Sunny actually painted all of these ones.
Well, I
These,
spent my early working life in book retail and
yep.
other services, which does things to you. Christmas makes you go, whoa! But no, these look lovely. There's something about a handmade card. I mean, even if they're a little rough around the edges, they just feel more personal. And these
Oh yeah, for
these are
sure.
lovely. I mean, these are if I had one of these, I'd have been more than happy. These are great.
Yeah, you'd feel that somebody actually cared.
Yes.
Yeah,
Cared
because I mean,
enough
I
to
know
make
how hard it
personal
is.
art.
Mm-hmm.
I know how hard it is to do some of that scroll work around the edges. That can be a pain in the backside.
Oh,
Yeah.
surprisingly enough, I managed to do it consistently for all the cards that I chose to do it for, and yeah, I'm pleasantly surprised.
I don't think you actually put
Yeah.
up the best one for the WAYPN though, because you did one where there's the mimics and mushrooms.
Yes. The thing is,
Okay.
I purposely did not want to put it
Ah,
up because that is meant for someone who is in
on
the
WAYPN.
WAYPN.
Yep.
He's not very active on here, but I believe he does look through things.
Yep.
And if he sees that, he might draw some conclusions, and the surprise will be ruined.
Fair enough.
I really want to post it though.
All right.
Pictures.
So just
If you want me to offer a slight roast, I will say the Nutcrackers, they do kind of weird me out ever so slightly. If they're cold, black eyes.
But David, I added the highlight to make it look less dead.
Yes. Well, like they so many old like traditions. Some of the times seem so weird. Have you seen the old Mickey Mouse masks from like the 1930s, like the 1920s and stuff? You're just like, good lord. Like it's black and white and it looks like it's a photo from like some horror film that they've shot.
Jesus.
Yep.
So, like some of them like teddy bears. I think that teddy bears are great, but
They make teddy bears creepy as well.
no, well, that's some people, but
Yeah.
All right, so next up, hold the phone. All right, so
Yes.
what did Sunny do well, and where couldn't she improve?
Ooh. Right. I love the one with all the animals on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's charming. I think that for one for Christmas wreath, that could maybe have had a little something extra added to it. I'm not sure what, but it seems like it's.
Yeah, low effort.
Oh,
Low
hello!
I didn't say that because that wreath.
I made one low effort card on purpose. The rest of it was efforted. Efforted, I say.
Yeah.
Oh, isn't that our
Otherwise, I
mum
think
and dad?
Well, David, I totally understand your critique on that. This one is actually a dessert that I found when I typed like Australian Christmas, and it's called a Ripple Delight.
Oh, it's not a pavlova?
No, it's not a pavlova. It's a Ripple Delight, and it's meant to, that seems to be the color of the cake. It's like a cream cake, and then they put berries and mint, and they've drizzled on some sauce, like a raspberry or strawberry sauce.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, so
is that like a cheesecake?
Not. I don't think it's a cheesecake. I think it's.
I don't know. I can't.
It's definitely an advertisement for some cream cheese brain. I will give you that much. But
I've got no idea.
But I saw that and I was like, yes, looks like an Australian Christmas type of deal, and this is meant to be for the kitchen staff. So.
Oh no, that one wasn't for the kitchen
This
staff.
is for the kitchen staff.
No, that one wasn't for the kitchen.
Yes, honey, I made these cards.
Oh right, yeah. No.
I know who I meant those cards for.
Oh right, yes.
But yes, then I did the cute animal ones. I will say, as a personal critique, the animals are the weakest point of that artwork, but the reference I was following was very sort of very cutesy and like paper cut it looked like cut up pieces of paper, the way they drew the cartoon.
Oh, we've got Joseph on.
Oh, yes.
8 a.m. I just got out of bed. It's too early for this.
Yeah.
Breakfast, and then I can pay attention.
Okay.
Sounds good, by the way.
We'll wait for you.
Well, we're talking about ourselves, so he can just skip this part.
Perhaps I could deepen the shadow around the cake a bit more.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. Like I say, I read it as a wreath, not a cake. So.
Oh yeah, no, fair enough.
Well, next up, we have Ashley McDonald, and I'm actually really glad that Ashley. Oh, hold up. Would you like to read this out?
Okay. Finished off the Shambling Undead Blood Bowl team. Big thanks to Dave Harris for the help with the basing of the 2 models climbing out of the dirt.
And I think Dave said it might not be in this one, but in the other one, it's all you, mate. But yeah, so give us your thoughts, Davith, before we completely dominate the airwaves once more.
Well, I mean, these look quite lovely. The only critique I could possibly add, which is possibly something maybe which is just me, is that there's no, other than the rusted, corroded metal, they look more like undead warriors than an undead Blood Bowl team, because normally there's a bit more colour to a Blood Bowl team.
Yeah.
In general.
That is a fair point.
So I mean, I think that's probably my only, but that's kind of been a bit harsh, I think, because the way he's done these, they look fantastic.
Yeah,
to be honest.
I think I know exactly what you mean, but I think on that point, I think perhaps that was his point, to have it, because like everybody else sort of has like these very bright and colourful, Blood Bowl teams, right?
Very true, yeah.
And he's trying to go for that more sort of realistic look, because you see them like literally crawling out of the dirt, and I think this guy's back here is separated, so like obviously he was trying to get out of the dirt there, but no such luck.
So yeah,
I'd love.
Go?
Sorry, after you said it.
No, it's okay. I'll let you go first.
See, I'd love to actually see these on a Blood Bowl pitch with another team. See how that contrast works out, because I think that's where it's really going to come to life when you actually, so to speak, when you actually see it opposite a more traditional Blood Bowl team.
Well, adding on to the point that you said about perhaps they could have been more colourful, I thought that perhaps one of the way that he could do that is parts of the ripped up grass there could have remnants of the paint stripe that they put on the football field. If he still wants to go for that, like they're not a band of a band of undead that have come together already.
It's okay, because I think the team is called the Necromantic team, so like but
they're not Necrons.
Yes, no, they're not, but I mean,
yeah.
So I can see why you had a little bit of confusion.
Yeah, so I would say that perhaps some visibility of pitch lines being disrupted on some of the grass could help to give the idea that this is a Blood Bowl team, without going away from the theme that they are all actually coming out from the ground. They are not a pre-assembled team that has, walked in onto the field like everybody else. They just erupted from the ground. Well, or something.
I do think the only critique I would have, right, is, and now everybody's going to get surprised that it's about basing. I think that when it comes to, I think the ones that are actually coming out of the ground look absolutely fantastic when it comes to basing, right? There is a whole story being told with that, right? But when we take a look at some of these other parts, right, there's no variation with the dirt.
Yeah, it does seem to be
quite flat.
and then they're just patches of grass.
Yeah.
If he had put on the muddy effect that he's done with all the other ones, it would make it feel more consistent and like show that they did come out from the ground some way.
And I feel... yeah, go, David.
Okay. And again, I'm trying not to... I feel a bit bad about this because they look lovely. But does anyone else feel the grass may in fact be a bit too long in places? It doesn't really feel like it feels like a field than a Blood Bowl pitch.
Well, no, see, I think that was part of his design. So I think like lots of your stuff has come like this doesn't feel like a Blood Bowl pitch, and I will agree with that. But one of the things that I think like this looks like some sort of abandoned field where there was a battle or something, and he's just brought them up out of the ground.
Yeah. No, that's fair. Telling definite story in that case.
Yeah, but I do think, see the way that he's done the mud on these guys. I think that he should do that mud on all of the bases, right? And I think
a bit more variety in texturing.
Yeah, but also so. You know, you might be like, all right, but won't the boots be sunken in a bit deep? But that will add to the look. It'll make it look a bit more swampy. Yeah. Also, see around here where, you know, like the shrubs are a bit proud. You know, they're quite up from the ground. That would make them more established inside the dirt, much like the grass that's coming up here, like the earth's being pushed over it as he's coming up. I think that would really help because, like, paint job wise, like, yes, very dirty, very grimy, but I think it fits the bill for these guys. And I'm really proud of Ashley because Ashley's very much like you and has had a lot of trouble going through his pile of shame. He's got stuff back from the 80s. So I don't
represent.
So I think you know, it's really good to see him actually painting stuff up, actually getting stuff out there, and I'd love to see him get some more. So where he could improve, I think we all pretty much agree it's the basing. So David, would I be correct in saying where you think he could improve is showing some more signs of it actually being a Blood Bowl field?
I think it's not unfair. Yeah. Otherwise, I mean, his metal work is frankly astoundingly good. I mean, the way he's made it look like proper corroded brass and copper and the like, brilliant. No quibbles there whatsoever. The ways he used that off black to look like a faded enamel paneling, equally brilliant, and the skin having that slight greenish, having that slight greenish greyish texture to it across the board. Perfect. I mean, they look like a really nasty undead team.
Yeah,
it's just mentally, I always see a lot of people doing Blood Bowl, and they keep to the idea that it's a bit more of a brighter aesthetic than traditional Warhammer. This, I say, I really want to see it up against lined up either on it, or just on their own on a Blood Bowl pitch. Could be a custom. Hell, I'd love to see him do a custom Blood Bowl pitch in this style, because an undead Blood Bowl pitch, but it's literally a battlefield, just with some markers put on it.
Cool.
That could be cool, and I know a lot of people do that for their own teams. They try and give them a bit of flair.
Yeah.
Equally, just on the Blood Bowl board, opposite another team that someone's done, just to give us that, just to see how that contrast between a real grunge team like this and a more traditionally done team shows up. So, but no, these are great work, and I can fully respect just struggling to get through your pile of shame, dude. So fair shout on that. Well done.
All right. And what? So I think we've gone over what he's done well, where he can improve. So let's move on to the next thing, which I do believe is So do you want to read this out, and then I'm just gonna quickly go through this one.
Okay. To be honest, the lizard has something to say.
I'm not sure if that came through. Did you guys hear the squeaks?
I heard the lizard.
Yeah, it's pretty hard not the lizard sounds not to come through. But anyhow, I cannot for the life of me motivate myself to glue these together and paint them up. I was going to put them, going to put 3 on a little warhammer tree and give one as a gift. I'm tempted to just give it to him NIB. Okay, Davis, give us an insulting acronym for NIB.
Oh, right, NIB, yes.
Yes.
Oh, yes, with the tradition must continue. Davis, please, NIB.
Ooh. It's too early to make me try and do things like this.
Oh, okay. All right. National Institute of Bozos.
Okay.
That works, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So, I'm tempted to just give it to him, National Institute of Bozos, because he's a better painter than me. Plus, he could use it to paint and post for advertising for commissions. Ugh. How do y'all motivate yourself when you're having writer's block?
This clipping
and gluing block.
So I'll let you answer for clipping and gluing block, because you do actually do pretty decently when it comes to actually doing the clipping and the gluing.
Well, for me, the actual build part is something I do to relax. It's kind of like my happy space. I can do it almost on autopilot, or just to keep my hands busy. But if you're feeling burnt out by it, don't force it. Just try something different. Take a step away. I mean, I unsurprisingly, I have kits that are really old, or projects I've left and come back to years later, if not longer in a couple of cases. And sometimes it's just, if you're not feeling in the mood to do something, I mean, those red gobbo minis are a very particular thing to be in the mind to be building, especially if when I try and do one as a gift for someone, which is never easy. I mean, the idea just giving one to your friend as is, I don't think I'd be ashamed to do that. I think I'd be quite happy to receive something like that. To be fair, that's a lovely gesture.
Yeah, no, I think one of the big
don't force it.
Yeah,
is the key thing.
I think the big problem is, unfortunately, I've got the sort of opposite end of your answer, which is, when it comes to getting things painted, getting things done, the answer is, just do it.
You just have to start it. Yeah.
And I know that sounds
that as well.
That sounds very much like a Nike advertisement, but the issue is that it's true, right? It's like, so I'm not exactly, let's say, proportionally correct at the moment. And
oh dear.
I didn't deform you that badly, did I?
Yes. But like the thing is, like, if you want to know about advice on how to lose weight, talk to a fat person, such as myself. But like, if you actually want to lose weight, like I did a couple years ago, you just have to do it. You just have to get into it, and like, for me, when I was doing exercise, it was just pure misery. I never ever enjoyed exercise. And luckily for me, I do kind of enjoy painting, in that, unlike exercise, I get those moments where my brain is just off and I'm just painting.
Mm-hmm.
You're just in that state of flow. And I think that's really good for you. But I think you've got to get to that stage of actually having something on your brush and putting it to the miniature, and then everything else after that helps. It doesn't matter whether, we could talk about, what audiobooks to listen to, this, that, and the other, but it wouldn't really matter unless they're actually sitting down and painting.
Yeah.
So I think.
Well, if the other idea is, rather, if he's struggling to get these particular models built, build something else.
Yeah.
Something else that
Just
excites you, right?
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair
I mean,
enough.
quite often I've had that as well. I built one thing and I thought, "Ooh, I'm in the mood now.
Yeah.
Let's go back to these, or let's build something else." And
And I
it just
think,
gets.
that is the thing. So I'm just gonna cover Joseph's comments. Um, so Joseph was just saying that all of our audio is good, and that it's a bit too early for him, and that he's
Yeah.
getting too like there's 2 minutes between comments, and he commented on the thing that you said and said, to be honest, something I'd prefer to receive something. What was it? National Institute of Bozos.
Yes.
Uh, then getting someone jigsawed gluing something together. I think he likes the fun of actually assembling miniatures.
Hmm. And
All right,
perhaps
I see Joseph's point there is a good one. That for some people that is fun. Equally though, I've had people I've I've done it myself and had it done to me, where people have gifted me miniatures that they've taken the time to build and paint, or even just
Mm-hmm.
build, because especially if it's like a custom build, a kit bash or conversion.
Mm.
Even if they've not painted it, if they've done it especially for you,
yeah.
I
knowing
think
what you're into, and then that's kind of nice. It shows a bit of quite a lot of thought been put into things.
I think it's a lot like the cards we were talking about earlier, right? Like, I mean, let's say that kit bash is made of stuff that they already owned, right? That's not the point. The point
Yeah.
is that they put time and effort and thought about you before they made and gave this gift.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you're not their mum, and you're not their dad or whoever who is usually.
You're not obliged. They're
You're
not
not
obliged.
obliged to do it. This is someone whom is just your friend or whomever it might be. They don't have to do that for you, but they have gone out of their way to do that for you, and that makes it even more special. The feeling, I would say. Yeah.
So next up, we've got Joseph, actually. So he's going to be able to comment on his stuff live. All right, Sonny?
Or Kingdom Death.
Yes, well, I have to say, before we start, I really love this.
I'd love those sensor boxes. They're brilliant.
Hey, Joe, I wonder if you purposely stretched out that WAYPN flag there to suggest something. Hey? Hey?
All right.
I've been on leave for one whole day, and I've got a whole lot more done than I'd hoped. I've finished 4 of the 5 Bone Eaters. The 5th has a whole other model slung over the shoulder. Yep. I painted the swords on the God Hand and the Bone Eater Survivor, same name but different character from the same box. That's not confusing at all, with the Bone Eater blades. Then the Smog Eater flesh went smoother and faster than I thought, and their masks and smoke were all done in time for a few episodes of Lower Decks before bed. That's 7 models finished today. My target of 33 models was wrong, as I apparently can't count. Helena has 7 models in her box, not 6, so that's 34 models I want to paint. This leaves me with 6 left to paint, all of which have work already done on them, and 9 days left. Tomorrow it's Survivor Flesh and Lion Pelts.
Alright, so would you like to give us some commentary, David? We'll start on one because he's done a few. We'll start here and then we'll move on.
I mean, where did you start? Kingdom Death miniatures are always just so lovely and disturbing to look at in equal measure. And I mean, these paint jobs are very, very nice. I mean, that skin is. Does that. You can only give so many superlatives out, because. I mean, the only thing I could think of, maybe. Are these actually finished, Joseph, or have you still got much work to do on each of them? Because I know you said.
So they're looking pretty finished to me.
I know, right? I mean,
like one of the biggest problems is the platforms that we're on. So
yeah,
the characteristics which will obviously look it'll be this for the women, but I mean, usually the dangly bits and the flappy bits are the things that like are something that people are usually worried about. But like we see you know the top halves a lot, with people, so we're a lot more familiar with them. So like, unfortunately, we can't comment on that. But what I can say is I think that the highlighting's very, very nice. Like, there's not a lot of deep shadows. See, like, this is the deepest it goes right here, and he's got the darkest flesh.
It feels very soft and flesh-like.
Yes.
Agree.
I would agree.
I would say that is Joseph's strength, painting skin, which is one of the harder skills to master.
Skin is a pain in the ass.
So the Bone Eater Giants are finished but need basing. The Prisoner isn't started yet. So I think the Prisoner is
that person over there over the shoulder.
person held.
Okay.
Alright, well, we'll go on to the next one. Or is this the Prisoner? I'm not sure.
No, I don't think he's the Prisoner.
But yeah, like, I think that Golds are somewhere where he needs to sort of step it up a bit. So, like, big problem with Golds is you've got to go very bright very quickly, and you've got to go very dark very quickly. So, like, underneath here, you can see some of those natural shadows, but you'd want to actually paint those shadows.
Dark.
Yeah.
Yeah. Would you be able to zoom into that? And
I can zoom
try
into
and
it.
explain
Do you want the mouse?
Yeah. After you zoom.
Okay.
I don't want to mess things up.
Ah.
Things tend to go. My touch has infected some things. It's true. The technology likes men more than me, in my opinion. So clearly this is how do I describe this shape, honey? Like a pyramid structure shape, a diamond.
That'd be.
So usually when you're painting something like this, it's the faces where it faces the light. So I assume it's coming top down like that.
Yeah.
So the highlight and the shadows here are all correct. So here is where it would be pretty much very dark. Like what that darkest color is, it would be completely filled.
Yeah, if I may, like it should be as dark as that is in this picture.
Yeah.
But yeah, and like I feel like that's one of the big things because I feel like he highlights all of the fabrics and all of that quite nicely. And I think I don't know if it's a knowledge thing or if he's just like it's got mica flakes in it. I want to be done.
Yeah.
But we are actually interactive and live, and we've got Joseph here, so let's see what he is saying.
He said many things.
He has said many things. So, the golds don't photo well. Looks better in person. It was airbrushed aged bronze, so it's dark bronze and underneath in the recesses.
Yeah. Because it does seem that we can read all the parts.
Yes.
So.
Well, like the problem is I think like when it comes to would you like to explain the thing that we were talking about with hyperreality, like that some of the times actual realism doesn't help you?
Yeah. Like approaching it very literally will not help make it look real.
Yeah, we want to sort of extend that hyperreality. But
Davith was trying to say something. So
yes,
let him speak. Yes.
Well, no, one thing I was going to say about the gold that I actually do quite like is how, because I wasn't sure if he'd used a wash or anything with metallics as well, because that's my normal approach. I bright gold and then wash down, then build back up again. But here, I like how the gold feels very cold because sometimes, quite often when I've done golds, I use a reddish or basically ripened flesh for the old standby to give it that warmness underneath.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas here in the shadows, it feels very cold. So I didn't know if he maybe used a darker wash or a blackish wash to get in there, or if that was just
No,
how
just
it
the airbrushed
affected the
apparently.
bronze. Well, I think especially around the torso, there's some nice shadow, and the shoulder there's some really nice shadows there that
Mm-hmm.
make it a much colder feeling of gold.
So
yeah, pale gold, desaturated.
With Agrex, that'll do it. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm just gonna read out what Joseph said. The golds were built up with a zenithal layers of different golds, then washed with Agrax Earthshade. Then I used a mix of dry brushing and edge highlights to push the peak highlights. Oh, push.
Push. Oh.
I was like,
pitch.
I'm like, how very English of you. I'm not sure what pishing is, but I'm sure.
Doesn't sound correct.
Well, I'm just like, I think he's swearing at us.
Yes.
All right.
Secret code's working. Carry on.
All right.
Distracting.
All right. We will move on to the final one he has here, which is apparently slug people.
Oh, okay, I thought they were like maggot children.
I think the answer is yes.
Yeah.
Sorry,
yeah.
David, please go ahead.
Both descriptions are out. So.
Okay. Mutated prawn children. Kind of look like
Please
prawns.
stop.
Yeah. Look, whatever they are.
Your neck. Please make them stop.
Yeah, whatever they are, it's designed to upset young mothers. I think that's their goal.
I mean, it's Kingdom Death. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never. You can't go more than 2 pages of a list of their pictures without seeing something minutes ago.
This is true.
Yeah.
Stop it, please. No.
Can't believe you've done this.
Well, I think let's go over what he's done well. So I think what he's done well, obviously, the skin. Skin is one of, I think, Joseph's strong suits. And I think it fits, once again, that idea of what we talked about with hyperreality. And so it does sound like he's putting a lot of work into the golds, but I'm not sure that it's paying off.
Yeah,
and like he does
photography.
Maybe he has to get one of the little dollies?
The turntable.
The turntable and take a shot like that, and we can take a look.
Yeah, because from what he's described, he's pretty much done everything that you could possibly do correctly, like all the methods that you could possibly do to push the results of gold, and it didn't come through as much as he would have liked. But sorry, Davis, you were trying to say something.
Oh no, I was going to say the only thing that could probably change things is I want to see how they look based, because none of these are on their bases yet. And Kingdom F, some of the bases can look a bit basic, but also some of them can really just.
Well, I do like what Joseph always does with his basing. His basing always comes out quite well. I've never seen bad basing from Joseph. So, like, usually that would be my main thing. But, yeah. Well, I'll have to ask. Did you end up watching this one?
I'm afraid I did not. Sorry.
Oh,
you
great
hate
sadness.
We understand. We're not attractive enough as a channel for you, David. Oh.
Stop. All right, it's time for the reading.
Oh, okay. It's a genuine vision.
Genuine.
And it's done. A long time in the making, this diorama was one of those projects that was a real challenge and a great leveling up piece, and one that I am really, really rather proud of now that it is all finished. I built as much as possible from materials on hand and all from my garden. Oh, there's a lot.
Yes.
Oh, lordy.
Oh, lordy. But let's start at the beginning. The miniatures in this piece are an older and very OOP? insult acronym?
Well, we've got to give it back to David because he skipped last time.
Yeah, he
What-
gave up his chance.
Yes, so OOP. What is OOP?
Off our piece.
Yes, off our piece.
Off our piece. Got it. Very off our piece vignette from Reaper miniatures that my client wanted me to both paint and fit into a larger diorama setting. This little duo plus a sanding stone was originally released and called the Druid Stone and was based on a piece of art by the amazing Keith Parkinson. Yes, Lizard.
To say something.
You wanted to say something. The sculpting was done by Sandra Garrity, so I had a starting point in Keith's original art piece. The plinth was made for me by the fantastic Richard Wharton at Oakwood Studios, and after a bit of Dremel carving to deepen a stream channel, I laid down the rough contours of the land, first with sculpture block bark for the rock formations as well as some stones, etc. from the garden. Bit of milliput to blend things in, and then covered and refined it with some modeling compound from Geek Gaming Scenics. The main...
That's Luke APS with the beard.
The main sanding stone is part of the original white metal vignette from Reaper, but it seemed a bit lonely on its own, so I sculpted a couple of smaller ones in milliput. Next was a layer of wet ground texture paint from AK, into which was pressed some forest scatter from Rival Crafts while still wet. After painting all this, tufts, flowers, and flock as per usual. The trees. Oh, the trees. I wanted to use birch trees, and the client has a special thing for birch as well, but couldn't find any tutorials for making birch trees online that produced something I was happy with, so I decided to just try it myself. We have several birch trees in the garden, so gather up birch twigs was no problem. They were then baked in the oven to fully dry them out and kill off any bugs, spores, etc. The branches of smaller twigs, which are cut to size and pinned and glued onto a larger trunk twig to make the main tree structure. Then we needed some canopy, so I drilled holes into the birch branches and inserted sprigs of sea foam for that. After construction was all done, gave them a spritz of sealant, aka watered down Mod Podge, primed them, and then painted them as birchy looking as I could. The foliage is from AK Interactive, autumn birch foliage, kinda of a loss matte sort of product, with lots of autumn birch leaves in which you tear off into appropriate pieces and work into the seafoam to hold it. All the extra leaves that fall off were saved and then used later on in the ground leaf litter. Once finished, the trees were generously spritzed with Mod Podge solution and then inserted into drilled holes in the diorama, and there you have it.
Alright.
Oh boy. Ooh.
I think we're gonna have to give Sunny a break for a bit.
Yes.
Yeah.
No more talking for Sunny.
So we'll go through and we'll let you speak for a while, David.
That is a hell of a write-up. I mean, fair shout. I think the only criticism I can level is I'd love to see some work in progress pictures, but
there are. There's lots.
Oh, there are. Brilliant. I'll have to go back
so
and look at those, 'cause
the thing is that I think he was. I'm not sure if he was taking a break or if it was just Christmas stuff or whatever. But there's lots. There's lots of works in progress pictures. But
I'll have to go back and check those.
The issue is I think it was a very long project. So it was a long time between updates, because I think we saw these two done, and then we saw the ground sort of
coming together. The river was done. There was stones in the river and all that.
Yeah, and so it was just very slow going, and yeah. But anyway, please continue.
It seems to try and criticise her because this looks just fantastic. I mean, that plinth is well worth what.
Hello, Sergeant from Kiwi Land.
Because that works really nicely. I mean,
yeah,
that's the actual water effect, and then how they painted on the foam. Gorgeous. a way of doing the trees as well, actually using birch twigs, drying them out, and then building the trees like that. It's a great idea,
Yeah.
and it's really paid off. And those Reaper Minis can be a bit hit and miss sometimes, especially some of the older ones, but those
Mm.
both look fantastic. Now, I don't know if that's purely the paint job or a combination of the sculpts and the paint job, but
So I think
they look brilliant.
I think the dragon is very much the sculpt. Like I think it's, of course, a beautiful paint job, but I think I can sort of tell with the face that
Older faces do tend to be a bit, shall we say, softer in the details. So it's normally the paint job that picks up the slack.
yeah. And so I think it was the face is pretty much all genuine vision. But I think it's despite the fact that it's a very sort of pin-up sort of style model, it's actually kind of nice. It's not. It's like even Kingdom Death models, make it look quite modest. And like as far as the pin-up models go, the Kingdom Death are, I guess, the most
unmodest.
No, because there is very much more unmodest. Davith would know some of the ones where you look and you're just like, why would you do this? Why do you recommend this to me? Like, this is not something that I want. Because they're just like, well, this guy wants miniatures and these are miniatures. It's like, one of these things is not like the other. But I have to say that like I'm very, very impressed with it. As far as critique goes, the only thing I could say is like what I really would have liked to hear is where he thought perhaps he took too long. Where he thought, like I think maybe effort to result
ratio.
Yeah, like this could have been a bit better because like this is a beautiful piece.
I understand that.
And see the thing is, this is obviously a showcase piece, and you have to judge it like that. Like he's not trying for an award, but he is giving it to a client, and they'll want a certain standard. And I think this client is going to be very happy with what they're getting because I mean.
I'd love to put it somewhere in front of me and look at it every day,
Well, like we'd probably put something like this on the memory wall, wouldn't we?
Oh, we would. We'd put it on the memory wall.
And like just to have it there to look at, and have people come and appreciate it, that sort of thing. But I think that's the only sort of critique I can level at it. That where would I change things? Where would I do different things?
Yeah, I think we would have to throw it back to Genuine Vision to tell us what he feels would be better improved. In this case, because like all three of us will agree that it's just perfect. Pretty much.
I don't think that you could say it's perfect, right? Because there's lots of things that can always be improved. There's always room for improvement, right? But like as far as painting wise goes, as like it does everything it's meant to do, right?
Yes.
I mean, if I'd commissioned this job myself and gotten this back, I would be blown away. Frankly.
But I think this is the best shot. Yeah, go. Sorry.
No. Carry on.
No. I was just looking at that and I was just thinking, that's it.
That's the money shot.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, I'm assuming that the client probably has this piece of art, the piece of art it's based on, and there's a fan base, which is why they've commissioned it. So I imagine this will be displayed alongside the artwork in some way.
Yeah.
Which that's probably going to look fantastic to see them both side by side.
Yeah.
For sure. Well, I think we've heaped enough praise on that. So we'll move on. But I think what I was really glad about is, and now it's a bit unfortunate because I should have done it earlier when I was setting up, but it's not as if we've got like over 10 tabs open already. But one of the things that I was really glad about is actually seeing the slow evolution of it. Like, it's slow enough. Like, you're not exactly a casual participant of WAYPN.
No.
And like, even you didn't realize that there was work in progresses of this. So for me, I was really glad, and like, I guess if you have to be pretty on it to have caught all of it, but I was really glad to see something like this evolve, because I think so often people look at something like this and they're just like, oh, I've got no talent, I've got no energy, I've got nothing, I could never do something like that. And they don't get that this guy slaved away at this to make everything perfect. You know, like, like, look at that description. You don't write something like this because you're just like, well, it was a low effort piece.
I finished it. There you go. You know, like he wanted everyone to see how much work went into it. He wanted everyone to appreciate the level of thought and detail and crafting that's gone into this. And we can definitely appreciate it and see that when we read everything. Absolutely. And then start looking into things.
Yeah. All right, well, let us move on to the next bit, and we've got more from Joseph. All right.
Oh, more reading. Here we go.
Not as long as last time.
Not as long as last time. 8 days left and 1 more model done, leaving 6 on my tray and a goal of 5 more. The final Bone Eater was finished today when I painted the packed lunch over her shoulder. Oh dear. With the flesh and the lion pelt painted on everyone else, the end is feeling much closer. Currently working on the hair, 3 more scalps to go. I'd like to apologize to Team WAYPN in advance. When I finally upload pictures of all 35 models, I might take over a whole review video. Sorry, I might try and spread them out over a week to break it up.
Well, you know, maybe we might have to threaten to get him on. Isn't that right, Joseph?
Yeah, Joseph.
We might have to get you on. We know that you're in the chat, Joseph.
You're the only one in the chat.
No, we've also got Sergeant here.
Yes. Sorry, my mistake.
Yes, but let's take a look at them. So yes, the packed lunch is done, so to speak. So I don't like, other than the flesh being done up on the head that he's holding over there, I don't see a lot of difference with the king. And like, I knew that
looks like he's added some stuff to the actual head of the king himself.
Oh yeah, the brain. Yeah, the exposed brain. Yeah.
So that helped. Was there that gold inlay on the tassels on the previous version? So I don't think there was.
I think there may have been, but it wasn't as cleaned up.
Yeah, I did not notice that there were brains.
Yeah, it was there, but not as cleaned up as it is now. So yeah, this is a lot cleaner.
Yeah.
Sorry, all, I'm a bit under the weather, so to speak. But instead of storms, we're just burning alive, and somehow I got a cold. I don't know how that works. I think Grandfather Nurgle truly has it out for me. But yeah.
I mean, what's Big Bag? Australia's land that wants to kill everyone?
Well, look, here's the thing that I don't get, right? All of the people came from Europe, and they're just like, Australia's always out to kill everyone. And it's like, I'm sorry. You come from the land of bears and wolves, and you're telling us that the animals are out to kill us. Listen, you made whole towns to prevent, the death of children due to wolves, putting big forts out and all of this nonsense. And you want to tell us that our wildlife's dangerous? Do come on.
Yeah, but northern wildlife plays fair. They're big enough teeth. All Oz wildlife is like, we're gonna bite you and you're going to die a week later because we're so poisonous.
Well, to be fair,
pain the whole time.
We do also have the cassowaries and the kangaroos. Like, a lot of people think that kangaroos are quite cute, but they'll try and drown people and dogs.
Oh my god, do they do that?
Yeah.
Oh, it was funny that one time when your brother was at the zoo, the kangaroo zoo, when he was young, and then the alpha male came up and scratched his face and grabbed the snacks off him.
So there was a place called the Deer Sanctuary where there was deers and kangaroos and stuff, and like you could buy pellets, like the pellets that you'd feed animals with. And so he's out there and he's given some pellets to some deers and to some other deers, and then a alpha bull came up and just scratched his face so that he dropped the food.
He swiped it off his hand.
Oh, did he?
He just yoinked it off his hand, and he's like, "Mine now, B word." And then he hops off. He hops off. I'm killing my husband with joy. I apologize.
That's the spirit.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I guess she realised she's in the will.
I'm sorry, honey.
But yeah, once again, the skin work is good. I'm really liking that, but I think with a lot of them, very much works in progress. I'm not as fussed on the white as I am with some of the other stuff. Like, I think that the white could be brighter. Because it's...
I think in this case, because it's still very much work in progress, I'm going to assume that cloak's going to be a lot brighter once he's finished.
No, because remember, he's done these ones before. We will see Joseph's comment. I'll be on a bicycle. Okay. Alright, well, fair play. So I think we've had enough of that. We're moving on from Joseph.
I really wanted to say one thing about it. Okay, so we did make commentary about the Bonita skin color when he was first starting out.
Yeah.
And I did already see the vision that he was going for ahead of time, but now it really shows because of how
the contrast with the other guys.
The other guy. So they were meant to be very ashy, close to the color of bone itself, because probably they eat bones by the name, and you know what they say, if you eat too much carrots you turn orange, so if you eat a lot of bones you probably turn bone colored.
Well, those are all myths, but okay.
Okay, well, alright then, there you go.
Alright, so next up we have Isaac Snyder.
Last mini of the year is done. Ivar Eriksson is a cool mini, but no matter how many layers of varnish, the paint doesn't stick very well to the edges of the fur. Probably should have painted it white so it wouldn't be noticeable, but other than that, really happy with how it turned out.
Alright, so let's take a look at this one because I think he did a really fantastic job.
It was beautiful.
Yeah.
But, of course, we will get our guest to comment first.
I mean, again, lovely skin work. Really getting across the scarring and the like. The paint job on that beard is wonderful, and some nice non-metallic metals on there for the...
Oh yeah, beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it is non-metallic metal, not true metallic metal.
I get what he said. I think I get what he's saying about the fur on the boots and on the trim of his shorts and his arm brace.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think as big as an issue as he thinks it is. Because, I mean, highlighting fur can always be a pain in the backside anyway, especially over a darker colour. But, I mean, these look... I mean, if I'd done that paint job myself, I'd be more than happy with the effect he's gotten on that fur. And coupled with all the other work he's done on there, it seems... I think he's been a bit hard on himself.
Yeah, I'd say so. I'd say that this is showcase level or more. Like, cause I like maybe it's just Isaac's personal level, but character level. But so I'm gonna try and be a bit harsher with some of my critiques because I think he's really pushing himself. So we're meant to give appropriate levels of feedback. So, like, if we're giving to Genuine Vision, like, sure, we did give praise, but we did give a criticism. And I think if we just give praise, that's not very helpful for your development.
That's fair.
So, first off, let's go over what he did well. The metallics, absolutely beautiful, of course. But I think the thing that he did really well, but I think he sort of, kind of,
The played?
No, I'm trying to think about how to say sugar iced tea without saying sugar iced tea. He kind of sugar iced tea'd the bed with the at the very end with the basing. Because you take a look at this material right here, right? Which he's using for the snow, right?
Yeah.
And he sort of just trusted in it, in the material itself. Whereas you can see with all of the ice effect that he did, right? Absolutely fantastic. He put a tremendous amount of effort into it, right? Whereas this doesn't seem to have that same level of...
Oh, you mean the snow seems a bit wished on?
Yeah, it doesn't seem as nice. It doesn't seem...
It's not fluffy and crispy that looks like rice that's been thrown onto the ice there.
Yeah.
Do you think perhaps the base would have been elevated if he'd left the snow off? If he just left it as the ice with the axe sticking out of it?
I'm not worried about the... I'm not worried about the elevation of the snow. It's just the snow itself, the snow product.
The texture of the snow. Yeah.
I just think it's I just think it's no good because there are better snow products out there, and I think this could be an easy fix because it's obvious he's put a tremendous amount of work into this, right? Because that's a frozen helmet in there. There's all these lovely, nice scratches. All of this work has gone into this, right? And this hobby products just sort of let him down.
Right.
So I think there's some AK products that could be better used. I think that he's done tremendous work with the golds, as we've said, right? Absolutely fantastic. But the only criticism I'd have for the rest of it is this, right? There's not a lot of textural difference between the various items. So when we take a look at the pants, right? And we take a look at the fur, they don't feel very different. Like these are meant to be those sort of lycra pants. You follow what I'm saying?
I'm not sure what lycra material.
You know the sort of thing that athletes wear. That's
okay.
You know, so like those. What are the thing that women wear to the gym? The
like the yoga shorts or something.
Yeah,
like
they're
yoga pants.
Yeah,
they're
Spanx. They're often, I think, lycra.
Okay.
You know, that sort of material, right?
It's very smooth and shiny looking because of how tight and smooth it is.
But see, like, even if it's sort of like sport short style, right? This is very sort of matted and very, like, if you see biking fur, it's got a distinctive style. And then I take a look at that, and I take a look at his, wraps here. And the question is, right? Alright, is this cloth? Is this leather?
Ah, okay.
I see what you're saying there. There's no real... You're thinking if you just added some little scratch marks to make it look more like leather, that could have... pushed it over the edge.
Or like, for example,
I can see that.
If you had some
bandage, it could be a paler color to look more like bandages.
And you could have some bleed through and that sort of thing. And look, the reason why I'm giving these critiques, right, is not because he did badly. It's because he did exceptionally well, right? And I can only think that, like, with this model, he's absolutely pushing himself. And I think that he's done so great in so many areas. So the non-metallic metals, out of this world, absolutely fantastic, right? The The skin work, great, phenomenal. The eyes, really good. Like, unfortunately, like eyes at this scale is really hard to.
Yeah,
Is really hard.
I've stopped painting eyes at that scale. Really, let the wash do all the work.
Yeah, I can get why a lot of people are very much like that. But yeah, so I want to say that he's done absolutely fantastic work. We put this in the showcase category for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
It's not because we think it's bad. You don't put something in the showcase category because you think something's bad. But yeah, so I would say those are my critiques. If you guys would like, so I think what he's done well: the golds, the skins, the eyes, the ice, the telling the story in the base.
Yeah.
Where he could improve is differentiating textures.
I would agree with that.
I think that's fair. Yeah.
Yep. All right. Well, I guess we should move on. All right. So next up, oh yes, I remember Monday, just the classic. Okay, I have to ask, as somebody who's now that we've got a guest on. Oh, I'll also see if anybody's commented anything. Okay, moderation helps. Okay, great. Thank you very much for that one. Eyes are easy. What are you talking about? Shut up, Joseph. But as an outsider, how do you feel about seeing these sort of Member Mondays posts? When
here's the thing. I don't. I hold my hands up and say I don't probably engage as much with the WAYPN community as I'd probably like to be fair.
Mm-hmm.
Purely because of how I am mentally and all the other stuff I have going on.
Yep.
But whenever I see a post from you guys, even if I don't engage with it, I love to see it. Because I've said before to you, Henry, the original WAYPN back in the day was one of the key things that helped me get motivated for painting.
Mm-hmm.
To have stuff done for the weekly roundup, just even if it was just building or saying, yeah, I've got some stuff primed, here's the first wash, there you go, there's something. But if I could get in a few posts to actually show the full thing that I've done, great. But it was a really great motivator. And what you've suddenly done, bringing it back on Facebook and trying to make it into a proper community, has been brilliant. I mean, I've shared it with. I try and share stuff you guys post as much as I can. I've linked the group to a few of my other hobby friends just to say, look, you guys should probably post stuff here because the group would love it. It's a really great community, and it might give you some ideas for just pushing yourself a bit over the edge, or not. But it's a really friendly group to be a part of. And vice versa. So
you recently invited us to another community, Fluff and Hammer. You should put the live link thing up in there now because they can come along and give you hassles. But yeah, because like one of the things that I really try and point out, right, is that I think, especially while I've not been well, I haven't been at the computer that often, have I? And the thing is, I think even on the best of days, I might be like 4 hours of engagement in a day on the Facebook group. So you got to remember the majority of everything is everyone else. It's not us.
Yeah.
And I think, like, sure, we share our stuff and like we do that to encourage other people, but I think it's really sort of the whole idea is we want people to realize that it's not just us. And We don't know how well that comes through because we are talkers, as we say, and we do sort of take over a room when we come in. But yeah, so
well, you just have to look at the number of posts that there are in the thread. I mean, it's normally at least a couple of posts a day, from what I can tell.
Yeah.
Everyone's pretty engaged wherever they can do. Is it a massive community?
No.
156 isn't anything to sneeze at. That's a decent number.
Well, it's beyond what's it called? Dunbar's number. It's beyond Dunbar's number. So like there is that, but I think maybe Sunny hasn't talked enough, so we're gonna get her to talk some more. Yes, look, see.
I see it.
And also, I'm gonna step out for a moment again.
Just gonna get the cups out of your chest. Now, 6 days to go. Nothing finished today, but I'm getting very close with everything. I've just finished the leathers and may decide they want further highlights tomorrow. I have to base and varnish all the god tier stuff in the morning as my friend's 6-year-old is due round on Wednesday for a game and I want to play with my new toys. He's actually quite good, especially when Fireman Sam isn't on in the same room and he can focus. What is Fireman Sam? Now that you have laughed.
So, have you never experienced Fireman Sam before?
No, I've never heard of it until now.
Fireman Sam has been running in some form or other since I was a kid in the 80s, and it started off. Do you know Postman Pat?
No, I probably don't. Is it a bear?
Okay.
Is it a bear?
No. So it was a stop motion puppetry show.
Oh.
Fireman Sam, that was all about this farmer called Sam and his adventures around this little town he lived in. And it's still going into this day, where we moved over to CGI animation. The funny thing is, though, it's actually a Welsh TV production.
Oh,
so
is
there's a version of it that's in the Welsh language. Which is one of these little rounds, much like Super Ted. But Fireman Sam has been delighting children of a certain age for decades at this point. So,
I only know Bob the Builder.
Bob's cut a bit of the same cloth, but Fireman Sam has more.
Fireman Sam.
I never heard of it. That's why he was telling me.
Henry knows Fireman Sam.
Yeah, it's a old English thing, so you'd get it on ABC, which is our sort of public broadcaster.
There are some really nice stop motion animation TV shows that I really enjoyed growing up. Like I said, Bob the Builder was one of them.
So how did we get away from Joseph's thing while I walked outside and puffed up my...
He laughed when he read Fireman Sam, and I was like, what is this? Everything in the town of Fireman Sam is so unbelievably flammable. It's scary.
Well, yeah. I tell you what, we burnt a couch the other day, and when I say the other day, that's
a year ago, honey.
Yeah, because we had a flood in our area, and we came back from our wedding to everything in the house was covered in mold.
Oh yeah.
Everything. Absolutely everything. And so we had to toss this couch because it was just
unsalvageable.
Yeah, and I tell you what, it's kind of made me think twice about having a couch in a house, because once that thing set fire, like I thought I'd taken it a fair way from the house, and at one point, like I completely put it out and left it to smolder because it got so intense that I thought it was going to
I felt the windows rattle for a bit.
Yeah, and like it was a decent space away, and like it was in a sort of area where there's like cement all around it, so it's not meant to be able to go beyond there. And I'm like, oh geez, like we follow proper fire safety stuff because we're bush people,
but we should probably talk about
we should probably talk about Joseph's thing because we're going a bit off topic. I don't know.
Fireman Sam, you're at fault. Good day.
How did it get there?
I said that
he mentioned Fireman Sam in his description, and I chuckled when Sonny.
All right.
What is this joke?
So it's Joseph. You're to blame, Joseph. You're all to blame. All right. So I think the eyes are actually a lot better.
He must have spent a long time trying to make sure that came out correctly.
Because I do know that he's had a bit of trouble since he switched to
The
synthetic brushes.
Okay.
And well, like, I think Joseph is one of the I know this is going to sound terrible, but one of the good vegans, one of the ones where unless you actually knew, and like the only reason he talked about it was because he went to synthetic only brushes, and so no animal stuff, and like I can see how it's been a problem. We can all see how it's been a problem, and I think he's been putting in a massive effort, trying to get things right despite the setback. And like
it's funny. I can remember when synthetic brushes were kind of looked down on quite heavily in the hobby painting community, but the last 5-6 years, they've become ever increasingly popular and people quite keen on them.
Well, I think that there's been better synthetic brushes out there. That's probably the reason.
And probably also the price point is a lot more affordable. And people want affordable hobby products so that they can get into it a lot easier.
Oh, okay. I think, in fact, my eyes are usually done with one of my last remaining real hair brushes.
I see. Okay.
But yeah, no, I think the eyes came out quite well this time. I think everything's starting to come up, but I think we're just sort of just a tiny bit away from the end point, because I think with some of these, it will only be once the base is added will it all sort of come together.
Could I ask, why is there a face attached to the loincloth?
Well, because it's Kingdom Death. That's why.
Why
yes,
not?
yeah.
That's the real explanation.
The floor is weird death masks.
It is all just faces on the the floor.
So if 40k is skulls, Kingdom Death is faces.
Kingdom Death beats the 40k faces.
And you hope it's faces, because otherwise God knows what it could be.
Oh gee.
Well, then it's dangly bits and flappy bits and fleshy bits.
Any bits.
And they're all bits. But I just wanted to quickly go over this one because it was very nice to see, because I think Angela has been very sort of busy with kids and such, as you do during the holidays. And I thought it was really nice to say, like, obviously taken from somewhere else, but I think the feeling's very authentic, which is buried in the nooks and crannies of social media. There are little amazing supportive communities. The authentic ones are not always easy to find, but they exist, and when you find them and you feel comfort in knowing you're not alone, it's everything.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things that's one of the things we really try really hard to do here, which is it's so hard trying to be non-political, because it's so easy to get into those sorts of things. So for example, like we talked about with Joseph just before, or it could have been, fire safety stuff could have gotten into politics so easily, all of that sort of stuff. There's like but one of the big things I think is focusing on jokes and joviality and like the ability to, have a crack, have a dig, not mean-spiritedly, but
not punch down. Punch up and encouragement wherever possible.
Yeah, or just because I think it's like when you sort of have a dig at someone, and it's that little bit personalized, people get it. Like there's a mate I had, right, and Andrew was his name. We don't see him that often anymore because we don't go to Brisbane anymore. But anyway, so we'd be in a group, right, and we're all chatting, and I'd walk over, and he's like, "Oh, speaking about stupid, here he is." And like the thing is, now that's a bit mean, but the thing is, if he didn't like someone, he just wouldn't talk to them.
Hi. Okay.
Right, yeah. and it's that little bit, like they call them terms of endearment, but the thing is, like, that you're welcome when somebody feels free enough to have a crack at you and not feel
like you're walking on eggshells.
Yeah, because like that's the worst feeling in the world, like where you feel like you're navigating a minefield. And like I know being no politics means that you're navigating a minefield, but I know that there's people who are very right wing and there's people who are very left wing on here, and I am so happy that there's both of these people here together.
And we can coexist happily and encourage everyone on here.
Yeah.
And everyone's just coming together under the broad roof of hobby.
Yeah, because I think hobby brings people together. I think it's something.
Think so.
Yeah, sorry, go.
I like to think so.
Yeah. So let's get to it. All right, Cal says, and yes, he claims that he's the real Cal, but he's not because I'm Calados. Free sample of MDF bases from Frontline Gaming. I immediately noticed I could make a movement tray by gluing some poster board to the underside. Looks good, I think.
Yeah, I think it definitely looks cool. Like you can't even. Oh, okay. So there's a bigger board that because it looks so seamless.
They come out from this one, and I think if he had I think it'd be a really good movement tray if he just used these bases. I think we might not have even noticed if he hadn't have used if he hadn't have used those bases. Exactly. I think if he finds some guys for that, I think it would make great movement trays.
Maybe he's already started and he's finished off these models already.
Yeah. No,
then he's just like, oh, you know what happens that these holes fit? I can use it as a movement tray.
But I think grab a new project and
put them on the other bases.
Yeah, for sure. What do you think, David?
No, I think that's a neat idea. I mean, those bases look pretty decent, to be honest. I mean,
yeah,
they're pre-painted, right?
I do believe they're
not
a print laminate.
So I mean, if you got something ready painted that you can just pin into those bases, great.
Yeah.
And like you say, ready-made movement tray. You might need to maybe put a little work in just to widen the slots so that the bases don't get jammed in going back in. But,
right.
Maybe.
As a proof of concept using existing minis, that works quite nicely.
Yeah, for sure. And I like that people share their little things here like this. I think that that's really nice where they share just something nice and simple. So, it looks like it's Joseph time again.
5 days to go. I spent 8 hours today basing and varnishing 21 god tier models. Pictures another time, but managed to find time to finish the god hand and paint this red cloak. I have visitors tomorrow, but hope to get some painting in. I still want to get 4 more models finished, and it looks like 2 if my 5 days will mostly be used for social outings. And sorry, where was I, honey? Socializing. Yes, and basing and varnishing. Thank God some of these models are very near completion. Yes.
All right. So, I just want to go over some of the comments. So, Joseph says, my synthetics are 100 for £8. So, a pound is almost like 250 for us, is it?
I wouldn't know.
It's something ridiculous. But
Yeah.
they're not high quality. They're surprisingly good. That's not the loincloth, that's the head. The white.
No, the loincloth that I was talking about, that the face was attached
that's
to.
hair.
That whole thing is hair.
Oh, okay.
Oh, jeez. We'll have to.
Oh, welcome,
look at
Genuine Vision. Hey, Stephen, how are you doing? He's putting the bub to sleep.
Oh, okay.
We'll
be quiet.
Yes, we know what OP means. Yes, we do know that.
I actually didn't know what OP
it's
meant.
out of production. But see, that's the rule. If you don't actually explain it in WAYPN, we make fun of it.
You might have old women like me going,
what's the only one that
the
only one that we really let people get away with is whip, because it's just
everybody knows the whip.
Yeah, it's so common that it's not funny. I mean, like, there is.
I was so glad the first time somebody called out one of the acronyms that I put in, because I'm so used to talking in shorthand. There's so much of this hobby, and it's just like, oh, of course, yeah.
Some people aren't as educated in the
a
shorthand.
chat appears to be disconnected, so let's do some fiddling. All right, OBS, tell me of your ways. Alright, what do you say? This crime? Nah, it's all good. You lied to me, Joseph. You lied to me.
Just blame Joseph for everything.
Well, no, he just said once it's nudged, it's terrible, and then I'm like, yeah, we don't touch it that often, because we're trying to, converse with the real people, the real people.
The good folks of the interwebs.
Well, Davith has taken out some of his time and woken up early to participate here, so we should,
let him speak for once.
Yes. Maybe. This is where he goes silent, and we feel bad.
Sorry. Sorry, I was fiddling with a battle mech on my desk a second. I dig that cloak that Joseph's done.
Yeah.
On Swordswoman, who is looking very berserk, guts from berserk.
Yes, I was thinking the exact same thing.
I haven't watched Berserk yet, I don't think.
There's a really good old anime and then a terrible new 3D one where all of the fans are crying over it, because it's a very sort of poetic manga, as far as I know. I haven't read it. But as far as I know, it's filled with, sorrow and deep meaning, and they're just let's put on the dodgiest 3D animation we can.
But then you go...
The thing that got me about that is that the last episode they aired had possibly... They had moments where it was great.
What did they? Because I haven't watched it.
It showed what it could do in that. Well, there's two parts to it, because there's three. There's the original series of Guts, which is rightly regarded as a classic. Looks great.
The 90s one, was it 90s or 2000s, that one?
Late 90s, I believe.
Yeah, it's...
Then around 2010, I want to say, about then, they did a trilogy of movies.
Did they?
Yeah. CGI animation, but they were fairly well regarded because they had very high production values.
I see.
And then they did the series.
And they ruined everything.
So Joseph just wanted to add one thing. He said there's a sculpt of Berserk in Kingdom Death.
He has it.
And it's called the Messenger of Humanity.
That does not surprise me.
Well, it is
both
very
that he has it and that it exists, because there's so many people out. If you know where to look, you can find knockoff miniatures and this scale for Guts, and some of them are brilliantly good. But the thing about Berserk for anime, the original one only covers the first arc, effectively, of the manga. Because for manga, sadly, the creator passed away about
a year
3
ago
years
or
ago
something.
Now. But the series is continuing because he told his best friend where the series was going to go, and the team who were working on the manga with him, everyone has been quite committed to going, we're going to finish this for the boss.
It's very similar to, is it Brandon Sanderson and Wheel of Time?
Kind of, yeah, except Sanderson was handpicked by.
Well, I'm sorry, we have to interrupt this scheduled TV show.
We'll move on to the next one. All right,
Nerd out time.
Look, this is what happens. If you have me on anything, I will find a way to just
geek out,
go off on a tangent.
All right, well, Davith, it's your turn to read.
Okay. It's Whip Wednesday. # Whip Wednesday. So here's my nemesis. This has to be the most detailed bit of cover I've ever seen. Look at the number of wires and gadgets. This is only meant to be cover. This isn't a feature piece, just a bit of wall that juts out. Well, we are back into it in full swing. We took most of Christmas Day off, other than doing up the job wall, but now we're back at it. We've recorded 1.5 audios with you two, which we should have finished if not for the cicadas and storm, and I'm almost done this. But I will admit I've been thrown for a loop because of Rogue Trader. It's on my brother's computer, and he's been playing it on TV whilst I paint. But he didn't understand the system well, so I had to take over. You can see that, right? But I didn't have a choice. Well, anyway, hopefully he'll play some and read it out while I paint, and we'll talk about stupidity ever involved. As for you guys, well, I guess just going to have to keep those brushes wet.
Oh,
yeah. So, all right, this is going to be your two chance to shine and give me an earful, and I'll bring up the chat so they can give me an earful too. All right, what are you watching now with a little painting chat? All right, so all of you can fully give
critique, as you say. So, Davis, as the guest, you must go first. The rule.
I think Henry's been too hard on himself here. I think he's possibly put too much effort into these. I know there's a lot of detail, but sometimes there is a time where you just say, frag it, dig out the old lead belcher spray, get some washes, do a little bit of, pick out a few details, and then say, is anyone else going to care when it's this low down to the ground? But no, in all seriousness, these do look lovely. For the amount of work you've put in on the completed wall, shows in how good they look. And I understand the point that they are hyper detailed because that's GW and their CAD designers going nuts nowadays. Because let's be honest, GW, if they have the facilities, they're gonna show off.
Oh yeah, no.
Yeah.
They've got a. Sorry, please continue.
Yeah, but sometimes you just have to take a step back and go, okay, we don't have to make it. I mean, you've painted the plug covers, man, on the bottom of one of the things. And you can see the holes for the plugs.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that was on the sculpt.
Yeah, no, they're the English. They're the English style. What are they called?
Yeah, 3-pin
J's.
plugs. Yeah.
I think they're slightly different. They're like a combination of J's, and I think the Australian and the Chinese, have the same plugs, which I think are type I, and they're sort of a combination
Is that a 2-pin?
So the Australian one is essentially what you're looking at now, except it's flipped upside down, and instead of being straight, the top ones are triangular. Sorry, not triangular.
They're slanted inwards.
Yeah, they're slanted. No, outwards.
Outward, yeah. So.
Yeah, they're slanted outwards to hold them in place. So.
Okay.
Yeah. Which has more purchase. But your one has a very long earth, I believe.
Yeah. I just looked at it now, looking at it and thinking, well, so does that mean in the Grim Knights of Darkness for far future, the AdMech still use plugs?
Yeah.
Standard plugs for everything.
Yeah.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, they haven't figured out the technology of Wi-Fi everything. You know, something.
Oh no, they do have Wi-Fi. What do the mechanics call it? The new
they call
net?
it the noosphere.
Yeah,
no, I mean like do that, but for everything.
Oh no, you can't do that. That would be breaking the sacred technology.
Some things still need to power off the tradition.
Like obviously, I put a lot of effort into these, right? Like for example, you might have noticed that the sockets on these ones are more yellowed than the brighter, nicer white of these ones. But the issue is, I'm making it for a client, and I can't justify. Not completely finishing off a piece.
Oh, that's fair enough. I mean, if it's commission, that's a different story. Because you're working to a set standard. I mean, if I was doing it for myself, it would just be prime it, spray it, give me a dry brush.
All right,
and then maybe go back later on. But
Joseph has had added some stuff. He said, I kept my brushes wet, then they rotted and the hairs fell out. And it's like, Joseph, okay, look, it's meant to indicate that you're meant to wet them and then use them. You know, not just eternally keep them wet. You know, it's not your hair care routine, Joseph. All right. If you were just painting one wall, you've done great work and put more effort than anyone should expect to. But for a whole box of this, wow, just wow. I'm assuming alcohol, drugs or psychedelic help is helping the process. Use them. Is that where I've been going wrong?
Well, yes, he has gone a bit mad with this project.
Oh, yeah.
And he has been saying that he feels that it should have been done by now. And I'm just like, yes, but look at it. Look at how much detail there be on it.
Yeah.
And I don't know how to convince him to see that it is unfortunately going to take an unnecessary amount of time, especially when you're going for the standard that you're going for, because like you said, David, it's a commission. You can't cut corners when it's a commission.
Well, you can, but I think it reflects on you personally. Because I mean, it's my job, and I don't. And like I think, unfortunately, there's a lot of commission painters out there who. Now, when I'm talking about this, I'm not talking about the high-level people you are going to see streaming. I'm not talking about, for example, Genuine Vision, right? I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about Slobberknob Joe from down the road.
Slobberknob Joe.
And he says, "Oh yeah, I can paint this for $20, right?" And unfortunately, I'm in that sort of in-between stage where I'm not at the level of Stephen or someone like that where I'm recognized almost internationally. I'm barely recognized locally. But the problem is Slobberknob Joe's like, "Oh yeah, I'll do up those walls for $20," and he'll put $20 worth of effort in. I promise you that. Maybe.
Yeah.
And like the problem is the difference between me taking it as a professional, keeping my clients informed, telling them what the issues are, this, that, and the other, what they want, is it matching their vision and such. It's a job.
Well, here's a question for you, Henry.
Yeah.
Is that the standard that you agreed with the client to work to?
Oh yeah, no, definitely.
Is it worth? Is it worth
the client
just for your own sanity going back to them and saying, "Look, this is how this panel looks. This is how long it took."
The client, I would say, is
this standard, or do you want me to present a couple of alternatives?
So the client would probably be happy if I stopped here, but the thing is that they're a very, very good paying client. Like very understanding. They're very like. I think without this particular client, I think we'd be doing quite badly. But more importantly, it's about me and my professionalism trying to do things to a standard where, you know, if I say that I'm going to do something to character level, I'd say that this is character level. Now, like
that's fair.
You know, it's not.
But I mean, the thing to bear in mind is that when you see a lot of terrain, just example here for goes in GW doing putting White Dwarf and on the box art. That's not necessarily one person doing all that terrain. That's a team. So you need to give yourself a bit of credit for getting that far, but also, like I say, like you're saying, you've got this client's a decent payer, and they're the ones who you've been liaising with.
Yeah, I'm just going to interrupt for a second. Sergeant T said, "Can I ask whether the commission was for tabletop standard or did it request this level of detail?" So I gave, so I said, you know, character level, like all of their other stuff has been. So I would like tabletop level. I would say is everything is like everything is readable. And on this, not everything is readable just yet. With some of the details in there. But like, for example, say I was doing tabletop, you wouldn't be having this peeled paint effect.
No.
You wouldn't be having, you know, different colors with the wires. You know, there's a good chance that a lot of the wires would just be black, because black is a great color for wires. And it has amazing coverage. But this, like, I try to... When I envision a project, what I will do is this. I will, where the colours chosen with respect to the client's main welfare. So, in respect to that, Sergeant T, what it was is I have a default basis that I was using for his kill teams, and he asked me to paint in the style of those bases, and I put a tremendous amount of work into those bases. And so they've got this sort of what we call beige dystopian future look to them. You know, where it was once a sort of nice office looking sort of area, like people cared about this, and then you can see it slowly degrade, you know? Like you can have almost a vision of what this place was meant to be, but much like the Imperium, it's slowly stagnated and gone to muck. But I'm going to leave you two to talk about Alan O'Brien, because unfortunately my throat has betrayed me, and I think you guys will have more than enough time to talk about this while I go and parch my throat.
Yes, and there's no Fireman Sam to distract us.
Okay, no Fireman Sam. Alright, I'll leave you guys to it for a hot minute or two.
Well, let me just quickly read through the caption. It's just very short. It's been a while, but I got some painting in today. So I do know that Alan worked on this, I believe, a couple or more weeks ago, perhaps a few months back. And he's chipping away at it quite at his own pace whenever he's got the time. So, as always, Davis, please give us your thoughts.
Well, I'm digging how it seems like he's going for a very specific direction for the light. How it's fallen off the miniature, and that's informing and all its highlighting and the shading and whatnot. That is coming across beautifully.
Yeah, I'll just
really nicely
zoom in here so that you can take a closer look, I think.
The eyes!
I thought the eyes, that must have been very difficult to get that.
Yeah.
That one white dot.
What scale model is this? Because there's no real.
Well, maybe we can.
Inclination of how big it is. Oh, that's one of those painting cork things. That's
I guess.
Probably about. Yeah, that's a decent sized model. But no, I dig that a lot. I mean, the use of kind of blues and
Yes.
cooler colours in the skin, that's really nice. And it's giving it a real nice. It's really hard with skin a lot of the time because people forget that if you look at your hand, it's not all one color.
Oh yeah.
And it's so hard. And to be fair, it's hard to replicate a miniature because it's a miniature. But this looks lovely. I mean, the spotting is done on the skin. That tartan. I don't know if he's going to go back and tidy the tartan up, or that's how he's going to leave it. But tartan is always a tricky one as well because sometimes you just want to go.
Yeah.
Tartan sometimes it's just a case of getting it down there and doing a little bit of tidy up. Yeah. But that's all he's going to do. Lovely. If he's going to go back and tidy it up, that's probably the only thing criticism I'd put on that point. It's still clearly work in progress. You can see he's not finished the whole miniature. I mean, I'm digging the effect on the armor, which I'm assuming is a non-metallic effect he's going for.
Is that
I could be wrong.
I feel like he usually goes for a more reflective metal look. So I think this is just his base treatment. He'll probably go like more of those like different levels.
And then he'll go back to the top.
Yeah, I'm thinking that's where he'll go with that, because currently it does have a more sort of a stone-like look to it.
Yeah, I was thinking a bit of a stone look to it, but no, I think this is quite lovely for where he's gotten to, and I'm intrigued to see how it looks once he's finished it. I mean,
definitely.
But kitty cat's probably gonna look quite.
Yes, I'm excited for the kitty cat as well. He's such a cute little guy on his shoulder. I would probably have the exact same commentary as you. In fact, I do really enjoy the spotting on his skin. I'm not sure how that's achieved. Probably the toothbrush splattering effect.
He talked about a toothpick thing. Oh, can you tell that I'm not doing well?
Jesus, Carl.
Yeah, well, you're not hearing the worst of it when I'm stepping outside.
Let it rip.
Yeah. So, right, what was I saying? Words, probably.
So we talked about, David has talked about how he likes the clear directionality of the light, and the tartans come up really nicely.
Oh, yeah. But, like, what I'm amazed with is, you know, we were talking about putting too much effort in before, right? And, like, take a look at it like this, and you barely notice the tartan.
Yeah.
Like, your focus is pulled right to the face and to the beard, and, like, you barely notice the tartan, and there is so much effort put in there. And, like, it's just where he's at.
Yeah, I think David as well has pointed out something similar, which is like it's a lot of detail work, but you don't even notice it until you go that close. Yeah, sorry, I'm saying lots of I should not say.
It's alright.
Now, it is technically a bad habit, so to speak.
Oh, it is.
Verbal speak does not make you sound like you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
But, not that you guys think that, but I want to speak properly.
Yes.
Yeah.
The kings, as it were.
The King English. But yes, I do enjoy that Alan uses this technique that we learn in illustration. Not from my school. My school didn't teach me this. I watched YouTube videos, but it's called ambient occlusion. And what that means is that you include the reflective light of your environment. So you mentioned about the blues in the shadows. So that comes from the surrounding light of the night sky or the sky itself, depending what time of day it is, because the blue light of the sky also has an effect in the coloration of the way things look. So shadows will often look blue, and most times people do a black shadowing, and then they'll adjust, they'll get used to it until they see blue shadows, and then they're like, that looks so much better and so much more realistic.
I think it's just simply the case of that's sort of like a next step. With when it comes to painting, the there is one primary issue when it comes to miniature painting, and it's this: the effort versus reward is diminishing over time.
Oh yeah.
So, like at the start, if you just get color in, if you just block out some colors, put a wash on, you are 110%. You're no, not 110. I'm gonna say 1,000% ahead. Just blocking in colors and doing a wash, right? They just look so much better, right? But then you do the highlighting, right? And it looks better. It does look better. But the amount of effort for highlighting, doing this sort of thing, then, you know, once you get to this sort of level, right, you're no longer, you know, just making something look good. You're doing the kind of time, hours-wise, I would say that probably, you know, I think it, sorry, I've got a bit of a head fog at the moment. Who did Mona Lisa? Was it Da Vinci?
Oh yeah, Da Vinci.
Yeah. Okay. You're probably putting in a similar level of hours that Da Vinci did to his master work. You know, and I'm not saying that to rag on you, whoever you are that's watching. I'm saying that's all of us. Right? I'm saying that if you put that level of, if you're doing something like this, that's probably where you're at. You know, and so that's why when I saw what Genuine Vision did, right, amazing work. But the thing is, for us, right, it's more about what can you teach us from that sort of thing,
from that level of very high skill.
Yeah, like where can we sort of shortcut around? Like the birch branch thing sort of sounded great, right? But would we be able to maybe not paint the birches as birch, but just leave them as birch twigs, and then maybe just cover up where you've glued and sort of thing? Would that be okay? Things like that. And I think that sort of, when it comes to things like this, we got to find those minimal effort for maximal result things from what they're doing. So with the ambient occlusion,
yep.
I can't think that that's an easy technique. Whereas
it's similar to underpainting. I would say you've done it all the time. You know, you would do the shadow, you paint, airbrush it in purple, and then you do the highlight in a yellow maybe because you want to fix a certain shadow color. I would assume that is the sort of tabletop / character level artist, technique. But what he might be doing is like, actual wash painting. Paint on the shadows manually and then build up.
I understand what you're saying, but like, I was more wondering, like, can we just like steal that toothbrush technique and just all be much better painters because of it?
Yeah.
And like, that's what I was sort of wondering. Is that somewhere, like, that's what I look at when I look at showcase painters, because I'm obviously thinking in terms of a commission painter. Where can I cheat? Where can I do things like that? Because my opinion is there's no such thing as cheating.
Yeah, because everything is a variation of a tool that you could use to achieve the goal a little bit quicker, a little bit faster, a little bit better. And it gets you your time back. And I think that's something people tend to downplay. Is that time is something that you cannot get back. And for most of us who are not aiming to paint at the level that Alan or Alex or even Genuine Vision are at doing, we want to be able to feel good about our artworks and feel like we've improved or learned something new to achieve something slightly closer to that standard. But we're not trying to replace that level of work and standard. We just want something to try to make it look better. improve it in our own way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So we'll move on to Alex. And Alex is one of the people who have contacted us, so we might have him on next week.
Ooh, yay!
Alright, so
taking my new Raphael 8404 for a spin this morning. I'm not sure what that is.
That would be an airbrush.
Makes edge highlighting a breeze and a joy.
Well, if that's all edge highlighting from an airbrush, that's amazing.
Are you serious?
I mean, that's very crisp.
I thought that was all brushwork.
Or is it like is it a
Is Raphael an actual brush? Actually, no,
Yeah,
that might actually be a brush itself.
Perhaps it is a
Either
brush.
way, that's some lovely crisp highlighting he's done there.
Yes, I was like, I thought the Raphael series was an airbrush, but maybe they're a brush series, because I'm like, if that is airbrushing, I'll eat my hat. Not that I have I do have one particular hat, the sad hat.
There's a sad hat.
Oh yeah.
Hang on, let me do a quick Google.
Yeah.
Yes, please do. I'm writing it down for
the sad hat is from.
It's a Kolinsky Sable watercolor brush.
I actually wanted to point this out earlier when we were talking about Joe's brushes, that I found that my watercolor brushes were very, very cheap. I bought just the $13 set, which comes with different head sizes, and I found that those keep their tips really well. Very springy.
Ones?
Just regular old watercolor brushes. It doesn't have to be Kolinsky. I paid $13 for my set, which is like a set of five brushes. Sorry, there's a mosquito trying to attack us. But yeah, I found that you remember the little coils that you commented on that you thought looked really nice on my Christmas card? I used just regular pointed watercolor brush for that. Really.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Well, look, I think we can all agree, very crisp highlighting,
Yes.
and we will look forward to seeing where it goes.
Is that more from him? Oh no, that's a different post.
Yeah, it's more just more of the same. Next up, we've got James Salisbury.
I am the night. I am vengeance. I am Batman. All quotes aside, my current project is something I cannot post pictures about yet, so here's my future project. We'll be painting them to fit in with a board game I have pre-ordered. Yes, that is Batman with 2 axes. We'll be finishing the Zenithal priming tomorrow. I've never seen Batman with axes.
Well, I think it's from the... I opened it up again.
Dark Knights of Terror, I think. Yeah, because on the far right there you got the Man Who Laughs.
Mm-hmm.
And then his court of Robins.
Yeah, so that's... whatchamacallit, the Joker Batman hybrid or whatever it is.
Yeah, it's Bruce Wayne who's been doused with Joker gas and gone quite off the deep end.
I see.
Yeah, but I think we won't go into all of that nonsense, and we'll say well done for getting a start on the project and sharing it around, because that's always a great way to kick off your start, because I think that's one of the best ways to start something is by showing it and making yourself accountable to other people.
Mm-hmm.
So next up, we have... Oh, yeah. It's our 1 year anniversary a day ago.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is it 1 year already?
Yeah.
Jeez Louise.
But
Crikey.
here's one thing that I want to say. So, one of the bits of advice we gave was start now. It wasn't a very popular video. I think it's because we were telling people what they need to know, not what they want to know.
Yeah.
But what we talked about is how New Year's resolutions are set up to fail. And last year, we started, I think, in early December?
November. We started somewhere, November-ish.
November, December. So what we did was we restarted WAYPN. I think I invited you along, didn't I, Davith, when we were starting?
Yeah.
And we started off with a private group, and we thought, all right, we'll figure out all of the kinks and the bugs, and then we'll make it public. And then we discovered, no, you can't do that.
Yeah, you can't go from a private group to a public.
Yeah.
But you can go from public to private.
Yeah. But the thing was, right, the reason why we just started, despite not knowing everything that you're meant to do, is because if you don't just start, you never get there.
Get started. And that's why it's just get up and do it.
Yeah,
just
so, but one of the points I wanted to point out, right, is we failed when we started off. We didn't do what we intended to do, but, you just dust yourself off and keep going.
Yes.
And here we are a year later, and, I have not hit the goals that I wanted to with the Facebook group. Around about this time, I wanted to have 500 members, because the thing is, groups are really driven by their most active members. There's usually only I'd say 10% of a group that's truly active.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd love to have, 150 active members, but if we had 50 active members, that would make such a difference, and I think we'd be so much more visible, because we're trying to put out the energy that we want in the world. We want to put out this energy of,
more energy, more passion, more footwork.
Oh yeah, so Jason, who is Sergeant T, also wanted to point out that he is Sergeant T and is Jason, and Jason is Sergeant T.
Hello, Jason.
But one of the big things is we want to put out the energy that we want in the world. If you don't put out the energy that you want in the world, how can you expect the world to, reciprocate that energy?
Yeah.
And so, yeah, if you guys have a vision, go for it.
If
Do
you
it.
have a genuine vision,
you
should try to achieve it. Yes.
So that's just our. All right. Well, okay, Davith, is it cringe or is it passable, this little interlude that we've had?
No, that's more than fair. I mean, you've probably seen some of my stuff. I haven't really painted at all this year, but I've made progress on projects in different ways. So I've got a whole lot of stuff.
You have painted. You've done some spray jobs.
Yeah, I've got a whole lot of stuff built, which I've been quite proud of myself to have done, because there were some kits I hadn't built in. I've had them. Bought some Stormcast year before last, one of the box sets.
Was that Dominion?
Box over to look at it. No, I have Dominion. Although I have built a few bits from there as well, but it was one of the Christmas Army boxes they did.
Oh yeah.
Thunderstrike Spearhead had the dragons in, and I hadn't touched it really. I'd looked at it and just hadn't done anything with it. And then they released, a couple of things. One, I've been doing the latest Partwork magazine, Stormbringer, here in the UK.
Mm-hmm.
And if you pay a little extra to get the premium, the first premium bonus they sent out was one of the big dragon characters, who's almost 100 quid.
Oh, really?
I paid 30 for him, effectively.
Man, the UK gets all the deals.
But somehow they messed up, and they sent me that issue twice. So I could build both the Dragon Brothers. It's a multi-build kit, which was unexpected.
I apologize to interrupt our usual TV show.
I do want us to move on.
I think we probably just did.
Sorry.
No, it's alright. I do like listening to it, but I do reckon our viewers are like, get on with it. Get on.
Well, who knows? This might be the quiet you interrupter.
Sorry.
One of the things that we wanted to bring up is something that Davith, you brought up with us earlier, which is you asked why we went on Twitch, and we sort of said, well, we've got this curated community. I was going to struggle with that word for 5 minutes if it wasn't for Sunny. And we sort of know that in YouTube, it's just going to stay that way. But if we went to Twitch, it could be discoverable, which has benefits but also has downsides. So we just want to ask you guys, would you want WAYPN to be more discoverable? Would you want it to be shown off in Twitch? Because we say in the thing that it's one of the join questions. You know, are you okay with your stuff being shown on YouTube?
Yes.
And we haven't said, are you okay with it being on Twitch or anything else? So, we'd love to hear, you know, your thoughts on that, because this is your community. It's not our project.
Yeah, I'd just like to add on one more thing to that to help make this question a bit more clear. I hope I'm not dodging anything by asking this, but I do remember then when we first talked about increasing our membership to 500 or however many, quite a few of you have said that you enjoy the small group size because it creates more intimacy and people are more likely to be more casual and more natural with each other, where when you have bigger groups, people get drowned out. And so I am wondering if that is part of the consideration that perhaps you might want to have at the back of your mind, because once we go a bit more discoverable, that may be an issue, not necessarily will be an issue, but...
No, that's a good point, Sunny. That's really good points there. Yeah. So
I personally like a more tight-knit for my... Just because, like, I like what we have here on WAYPN, where we can be free and we can sort of make jokes of that. Nobody feels drowned out with what we are doing currently. As long as you post, we talk about it.
Yeah.
So I mean, Joe makes a good point that he likes the kind of the intimacy of the group and is concerned. But if it's more easily findable, that there could be people taking over chat who aren't actually involved. Which that's a very good point.
Okay.
And so the only counterpoint I'll have to that is, so one night I was up late. So Genuine Vision streams at, I think it's something like 3 or 4 a.m. for us.
Yeah, I remember this.
So, like, I couldn't possibly be on it like usually, but I was on it there one time and I just said hello and that sort of thing. And as far as I know, he's really curated his community and they were so friendly. Yeah. Like, somebody gifted me a sub. I don't know what that means. But, like, the thing was, people there were just so inviting and so friendly, and that's what I hope we have here. And like, if we could curate that in that area and bring in more people of this like mind and share more of that energy and put more of that energy out there, I'd like that. But yeah, so finally, with all of that said, David, it's time for you to speak for yourself. All right, you ready?
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. So, apologies for lack of posts. Still no painting, but a few builds I'm happy with. So, we got the Gundam Epion from Gundam Wing, a lovely ruler grade build with not a sticker in sight. All that lovely colour is pure plastic. Followed by a premium Bandai variant of the winner from Gundam Seed. Not a bad grunt suit, to be fair, if a few stickers needed. Then we got some additional Spider Friends for Marvel Crisis Protocol, the latest Warhammer Heroes kill team of Space Marines, and a trio of Tree Lords.
Oh, I remember Tree Lords.
So we're basing those up for Age of Sigmar of the Old World.
All right, so what is this? What? Where is?
Maybe we missed.
No, I had it up before. I know I had it up before. So something's gone wrong somewhere. I should blame someone.
Joseph!
Yes,
what have you
Joseph
got?
is not here. He's gone out for his coffee poop. So
coffee poop.
So he's not here.
I know what that's like. The coffee poop.
Like the thing is, I don't understand how you can put models together like this, but you can't get onto the painting because like I have put together a foot for a Gundam and just walked away and just been like, enough. No, thank you.
Well, the thing is, all the tools I need to build a Gundam, I have literally right in front of me.
Mm-hmm.
If I want to paint, I have to get out all the stuff I need to paint. So I need to dig out my brushes, whatever paints I need, make sure I've got my water pot sorted and my wet palette is ready to go. Whereas a Gundam, I don't have to paint them. Some people do, I don't.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And I can just build it over. I mean, this one, the Pion, I built it over like 3-4 days.
Mm-hmm.
And as I was going, I just put the parts back in the box. And then when I was ready to go, I came back, opened it up, took the sprues back out again, and carried on. And it was so relaxing because I was having a bit of a bad. I'd actually had it for about a month, this kit, before that. I was having a bit of a bad spout mentally, and I just wanted something to
do.
Yeah, and I kind of had to do it because I wanted to try and do it. So I've written a review of the kit for a website I'm on.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of need, so I wanted to get it done to be able to write that review.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? It was just fun to do. And I've done. I mean, hell, I've taken one of these kits to work in the past, not as advanced as this one, but I did one a few years back on a bank holiday where it was quiet. Took the kit in, had some of my tools with me in the box, got my work done, and then whilst I went for drives to come back,
So since we have people here who aren't from the UK, I know, amazing. Would you like to explain what a bank holiday is, and would you also like to read out Joseph's comments because he addressed them to you as well?
So, bank holiday in the UK is basically public holidays, essentially. They're called bank holidays because traditionally it's when the banks are shut. And they still are, pretty much. So, no, even automated transactions don't go through until the day after. But that's pretty much what they are. They're kind of random days throughout the year. We kind of call them bank holidays, even if stuff like Christmas and New Year's, just because it's a catch-all for it. We don't really call them public holidays, we call them bank holidays. Right, Joe's comment. So, you can magnetize base and have tree lords for both. Possible. The tree lords are a bit funnier because their feet might have enough space to drill a hole in for a magnet. I'll take a look at that because I might need to get some very small magnets in. The one that's got the scenery piece is probably going to be the easiest there because that's got some hollowness to it. But they were very nice builds. That's all 3 versions of the same kit came out of that. And they all look, I was really impressed how different they look. What else? Joe says, I can build Gundams anywhere, anytime. Built my last at work. Yep. Same. And as he does point out, his Gundam habit is partly my fault because I helped him get a Optimus Prime kit he was looking for. Because I'm a bad man like that. I can't help but encourage people.
Yeah. Well, for me, it's like I paint quite a bit, as some people may have told. Like, this is one of the weeks where I've painted the least, because I haven't been well, and I'm totally not milking that for all it's worth, so that I can play the Rogue Trader game.
It has been fun watching you play the Rogue Trader game. I will say, I thought it looked like a D&D game made into a video game. That's what it looked like to me.
Well, that's what they did before.
It is a very good game. I've been playing a lot of it myself, and it's been great.
But so I guess just for me, it's a different thing. Like, building for me, I find tedious because when I take a look at building, my thought is always coming towards painting. Because I'm thinking, all right, how can I build this so that I can, paint with...
How can I build it so it makes the painting process easier for me?
Yeah, or most efficient, I was thinking. Yeah, and so that for me, I guess, is why it's quite different, because I'm like, all right, should I attach this arm now, or am I going to regret?
It's good that you mentioned that, because when I was taking at the tree lord, the first thing that I thought was, David, how are you going to paint that? Because, wouldn't you do that in sub-assembly?
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. I don't do sub-assemblies.
Yeah.
I think the only time I've ever done that is I had a brief dalliance when I was doing Bretonians back in the day, and we're talking back in when we first launched in 5th.
They were so much better that way, the way that they had chest and arms and head separate, and you could just get at everything. The joints are so odd now.
Yeah, but I mean, I've never sub-assembled any of my stuff. Everything. Well, I'll tell you what, I haven't assembled all of one of my repulsors for my spaceballs. I've actually left a lot of the plates for the grav system separate, so that way I can actually, because they do make it easy just to get to the hull to paint. So I'm going to do those on a stick probably. But for the most part, because I paint to game with. That's my goal. I'm going for table.
Oh yeah, standard. No. I think that's totally cool.
Yeah, and I mean I've had models where I've built it, sprayed it, and then gone, oh, how the hell am I going to get in there?
Yeah.
Oh well, let's get to it.
Yeah.
You come up with ways. It's not always the best way. I will admit. I've had more than one occasion where I've done a model and gone, damn, I wish I'd left that separate. That would have been easier. But I'd like to have everything built, ready, and go at it with the primer that way. I mean, how? Actually, yeah, the one time I have done it differently was I did one of the tags for Infinity where the gun was. I left the gun arm separate because it crossed the body and covered a lot of the. Would have made getting some of the smaller arms inside quite difficult when they're quite easy to see. But normally, yeah, I build it, spray it, see what takes. So.
Well, Joseph just wanted to say that you're a supportive bad influence. Speaking of Joseph, would you like to read for me so I don't have?
Yes, 5 days left. I got the first 3 models finished today and made progress on the 2 in the second picture. Then I got a game of God tier against a almost 7-year-old. The third picture is my freshly painted minis against his Christmas presents. He'd had the 2 days and they're not even primed yet. Bloody slacker. He gave me a tough first 2 rounds, but I won out on rounds 3 and 4. But he made me work for it. He plays very well.
All right, well, let's take a look at these. Are these? There they are. Okay.
Ooh.
So.
Yeah,
oh dear,
wait,
those were not censored.
No, I think that was a different post. What is going on here? I must be slacking.
Yes, you're slacking off, like Joe said.
Definitely not dying in the acronym for the rear end.
I see what he means by that was the hair now. So it's the hair of the face. And he's used it as his loincloth.
I see.
No, I wasn't talking about that when I was talking about the white. I was talking about this.
No, yeah, because Joseph mentioned that, and since we're on that model, I thought I'd point that out.
Oh, you're talking about this bit. I'm just like, no, I'm talking about the white. I don't know what's going on here. And I never commented, but eyes are a lot better. I think it's coming along very nicely. And I think, like, you got to give people credit where they're due, right? Because the thing is that it's very hard to be open to criticism for a lot of people. For myself, like, And because we're on YouTube, it is some of the times we will get valid criticisms, some of the times, but usually the only criticisms we'll get when it comes to our YouTubes is very stupid criticisms. So it's very hard to open yourself up. So you should give people credit when they're putting in the efforts that they are. And I think that Joseph is really, really smashing it out and is really on target.
Absolutely.
So I think that's going to be it for this one, because I think we got one more bit from him coming up, and then I think we're almost to the end now. So I'm going to check the comments one more time. Yes, you're a supportive bad influence. I think I already said that. But next up, we've got Carlos Gonzalez.
Last one of the year, tried to make a couple of effects with the blades and the orbs. The big one was a bag, but I wanted it to be a poison vial. This time without funny names. Moonblade Wood Elf Rogue from Tiny Epic Dungeons.
All right, let's take a look. So I think, all right.
I did not know that they had miniatures for that.
Oh, is it a game?
Yeah, the Tiny Epic range, they're these really small box games about. They come in these really tiny.
Are they 28
ridiculously tiny boxes? Oh God, no! Most of the time they come with meeples, if that, and they're absurdly tiny.
Yeah,
this. I mean, I've got a couple of their games, and I
think this might be quite a. I think this might be quite a small miniature.
But the fact that he's managed to get this level of detail into it is insane. So yeah, at first I was thinking to myself that green on the tip of the blade didn't make sense to me. Then I remembered, he was going for poison blades. And I was like, yeah,
it's a classic color combination, the green and the purple.
Yeah.
And especially that particular purple and that particular green. You know, I think that he's achieved everything that he wants to do. Yeah. And I have to say,
look at that cake. Smooth blend.
Yeah, and for its size.
Yeah.
I think these are, I want to say 15 or 20 mil, so very
small. Yeah, wow.
That is tiny.
Well, if somebody could look that up for us and tell us in chat how big these are, but like taking a look at it and seeing this setup, this looks like a very good camera setup. And if this is sort of like
I commented on that too. I said that the new camera setup really helped the model pop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like looking at it, I just when we zoomed in before, like that little glowing poison vial, I think looks absolutely fantastic, especially if this is 15mm. That's intense.
I'm just on their Kickstarter page now, so bear with.
Yeah, all good. But I have to say, you know, like I like the scratchy leather, I like the purple. I think purple blade going a bit far.
Me too. I thought we could rationalize it as the purple reflecting off the clothes.
Yeah,
but I do think that was one of the things that I felt he could have used a blue toned gray for the shadowing instead to differentiate from the purple outfit. Is making up majority of the color scheme anyway. So I would agree with you. But I mean, still wonderful job.
Yeah, no.
These might be 20 mil after all.
Yay! I'm correct.
But yeah, either way, I think it's a superb job. I would say the biggest thing is get some basing on. The second thing is, which is much more minor, is the blades. If you're trying to have them read as reflective metals, that doesn't read that way. No, as like it's reflecting the purple in the blade. It's not reading as that. It's reading as purple blades.
Right. Okay.
Excuse me, guys.
I would agree with you on
Yeah.
that. It did
Yeah,
feel
I get what Henry's saying there, because they do look more purple than metallic, even with the sheens added towards the base of the hilt.
Need some gold highlights.
Gold, maybe.
Maybe.
Someone just
You mean at the
flavor
hilt?
a little bit more.
I'll take another look. Sorry, I think maybe I wanted to duck out on that one because I was dying a bit, and I'm just like, well, let's wrap this up so I can stop talking and start dying. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I see what they're saying.
Oh.
Of the knife.
Okay, thank you, Facebook. Very helpful. I think they're meaning it to be leather or wood.
Yeah, I mean, there's no cross piece on between the blade and the hand, but there is on the second one, so that might help on the second.
Yeah, maybe some gold there as a visual breaker. That could work, but I think having it black is fine.
Yeah, I think he's restricted a little bit by how it's been sculpted as well.
Yes.
Because it is a board game piece, not a
soft plastic.
Yeah, so it's a nice detail, but it's not the most.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're saying. What was done well was, I think, very nice fabric work. I think great glow effect. Looked very nice vial.
Nice smooth blending.
Yeah.
Very beautiful blending. Contrasting as well.
Yeah. Needs some basing. The blade, not sure what you're going for there, so that's where you need improvement, I would say. So we're on to the next one, and I think this is the final Joseph one, and then I think Ashley's reposted something. So I'm just going to double check with OBS. I think I can click this. No, let's not risk it.
No.
So Ashley's sent me a whole lot of comments, so I hope that he's watching. But yeah,
I finished the final 2 today, and then spent the rest of the day basing and painting lanterns. Tomorrow I varnish it all, and then I'll be 1 model ahead of my annual goal with 2 days to spare.
Nice.
All right, so we'll take a look at these, and excuse me, guys, I'm really not doing that well. So I think we'll go up to Ashley's in the meantime. I think they are the exact same.
Yeah, they seem to be.
Yeah, I was hoping that maybe he had some different shots, but that's okay. That's okay. Because he asked me if it was up, so I think I said just post it. So that's my bad, folks. If it's a repeat post, don't be down on Ashley, be down on me. But let's take a look. So once again, eyes coming up, but that gold, look at that. That is a lot nicer right there. I like the more shine on that gold, but the darkness seems to have disappeared. But there does seem to be some darker spots in the mask. I mean, like, there's very little gold on that piece. And then I think, all right, we're all the way in, so hopefully nobody will.
Those pieces.
Yes.
Beautiful.
But I think now that we can see all of it, I think, are they called auroras? No, not auroras. What's the nipple part?
Areolas.
I think the areolas could be darker. I think the less talked about the floppy bits, unless you want to add some purple to it, I think.
Why is it purple?
Because of the sort of veiny, like there's a more purple shadow, but like
is there?
it does. It I guess it depends on the guy.
Perhaps we should not get too detailed about. Talk.
I know, but look, you know,
I know what you're going
we're
for,
talking about painting. We're not trying to be vulgar. But yeah, and I'm glad it's at this very end bit because I don't think there'll be anybody else coming on to this part. But Davith, we're gonna let you sort of wrap things up and say you know, oh, what was it? There's a guy who says things. What's the one thing that everybody should be talking about that they're not in the hobby?
Ooh, that's an interesting question. Because we're all such a verbose group in the miniatures hobby, aren't we?
We're just sort of leaving the floor for you to sort of explain yourself and all that.
I'm not sure how to answer that one, to be fair.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. Sorry, my brain's gone a bit blank myself at this point.
So it's all right. Well, at least you won't die when you go offline. So
it's fine. I'm fully medicated for the day, so.
Apparently not you, honey.
Yeah, apparently not. So the one thing that we always usually talk about here at the end is community, and we would like to extend a very special thanks to you, Davith, for coming along, and
That's cool.
it's really made it a different experience. Having a guest on really I'm being serious. Like, having a guest on makes it feel much more
like a discussion. Like, it's not just between the two of us and everyone hears our thoughts, but like, it's nicer to have another extra person come along with fresh eyes or something, and they come in and tell us what they think.
Well, thank you both for having me on. It's been lovely. It's been nice to. I've said this on a couple of podcasts I've been on recently, because I'm the first to admit I'm not the most outgoing of people. I struggled to get out and engage with the hobby community locally.
Mm-hmm.
That's a me issue. I'm first to admit that. But it's been nice for my mental health, if nothing else, to have a chance to get on these things and have a chat with people and just to talk about the hobby and have the odd tangent here and there.
Yeah.
He said optimistically.
I did like the tangents, unfortunately. I know what happens when the boys start talking, they don't stop talking.
Yes, well, I'm very glad that you played moderator for us. And
yeah.
Joseph would like us to hurry along, so I think it's about time that we do that. All right, do you want to try saying it with us, Davith?
Go on, then.
All right. 3, 2, 1. Keep those brushes wet. Bye-bye.
Later.
Okay, be gone.